Part 40. The soul travels through the 18th line, the female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Bulletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 391. Gongbyo saw director Su leave, so she didn't stay any longer. She understood that it would be difficult for others to have fun if she was here. And she was tired too. Director Su and producer Gong were the two biggest bosses in the crew. As soon as they left, the atmosphere in the private room immediately became lively. Some wanted autographs, some were arm in arm, some were playing finger-guessing games, some were bragging. It was very lively. But Chen Ling spoke less and less, and her reactions became slower and slower. Several times, Bai Qingqin next to her spoke to her, but she didn't respond. Hu Suitong, who had been secretly observing, knew that the time was almost right. To confirm, she came over with a glass of wine. Teacher Chen Ling, Hu Suitong said politely, did you not get enough rest these days? From now on, I will be responsible for the daily life of our crew actors. If you have any requirements, just tell me, and I will do my best to meet you. Chen Ling's pair of black eyes were misty, and she focused several times before successfully focusing her eyes on Hu Suitong's face. She seemed slow to react. After a long time, she smiled silly and nodded slowly, okay. Hu Suitong felt relieved. Bai Qingqin was a little worried, Lingling can't drink much, let's go back and rest. Chen Ling smiled, I'm not drunk. The obedient water really works. Hu Suitong thought. Not drunk yet? Hey, Wang Zhen, Bai Qingqin shouted. Wang Zhen and DK were playing finger-guessing in the corner, and they looked drunk. This Wang Zhen. Bai Qingqin couldn't help complaining. Hu Suitong thought, this is exactly what I want. Wang Zhen looks careless, but he is very careful. She was afraid that Wang Zhen would see through something. When Wang Zhen was drunk, he wouldn't notice so many details. But Chen Ling didn't drink enough. After all, she didn't drink as much as Director Su. She had to add some more. Hu Suitong picked up the cup in front of Chen Ling. Is this your cup? I'll go get you some water. Hu Suitong stood up with Chen Ling's empty cup and walked to the cart left by Liang Xiaolai. After a while, she finished pouring the water and came over to hand the cup to Chen Ling. Chen Ling was laughing foolishly while holding the cup, and a lot of water in the cup was spilled. After Hu Suitong and Bai Qingqin's persuasion, Chen Ling took a sip. Hey, Teacher Bai, you should persuade Teacher Chen to drink more water. Otherwise, it will be easy to have a headache tomorrow. Bai Qingqin obviously cared about Chen Ling. She nodded, don't worry. Hu Suitong said, I'll go pay the bill, everyone seems to have almost finished eating. Bai Qingqin waved his hand. Hu Suitong pushed the door open and went out. Not long after, Hu Suitong's voice came from Chen Ling's headset. What's going on? Hu Suitong asked. Liang Xiaolai said, old Su has put it away. We are changing the house number. You can arrange for Chen Ling to come. Chen Ling's eyes flashed a sharp light. She had been thinking about how Hu Suitong could get herself to Director Su's room in a hotel full of surveillance cameras. It turned out that she used this trick, stealing and replacing the pillars. Once the crew started filming, they often filmed day and night. For convenience, the director and the main actors were on the same floor. And the room Hu Suitong arranged for Chen Ling was 2015. Most hotel rooms in China avoid the number 4, right next to Director Su's 2013. These two rooms are at the deepest part of the corridor, and there is a sanitary storage room between the two rooms. They changed the 2013 on Director Su's room to 2015. And the door card Hu Suitong gave Chen Ling was a universal door card that could be used to open any room. In this way, whether Chen Ling returned to the room by herself or was sent back by someone, when she saw Director Su's room with the door number 2015, she would think it was Chen Ling's room and would use the universal door card to send Chen Ling in. Both Chen Ling herself and the person who sent Chen Ling back to the room were speechless. Asterisk. Director Su let Xiao Li support him and walked out of the restaurant. When passing the lobby, Director Su heard a familiar voice. He squinted his eyes and looked through the gap between his eyelids and eyelashes. It was Liang Xiaoli, the waiter who was responsible for pouring tea and wine in the restaurant. Liang Xiaoli asked with concern, "Excuse me, is this guest drunk?" Xiao Li supported the crooked Director Su with difficulty and answered overwhelmedly, "Yes, he is quite drunk." "I told you that the wine here is strong," Liang Xiaoli laughed. "Did you take a taxi?" Xiao Li said, "No, we are guests staying in the hotel." Liang Xiaoli said, "Do you need me to help you send a guest to the guest room?" "That's up to you." The soul travels through the 18th line, the female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Bulletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 392. The two of them supported Director Su, walked through the lobby, and got on the elevator. They reached the 20th floor and went straight to his room. The two of them held Director Su and swiped open the door of room 2013. The three of them entered the room. Xiao Li whispered, "Director Su, Director Su." Director Su looked completely drunk. He squinted his sleepy eyes and saw Xiao Li making an okay gesture to Liang Xiaoli. Director Su couldn't help but feel a little hair on his back. These two people were clearly in the same group. But these two people's anti-reconnaissance ability is quite strong, and they didn't reveal their feet at all, just like guests and enthusiastic waiters. Whether it's passers-by, other restaurant staff, or hotel staff, they won't notice anything unusual. After the incident, even if they called the police and checked the surveillance, they couldn't find any problems. "Okay, put him in the closet." The two opened the door of the closet on the innermost side of the room and stuffed Director Su in. Closed the door of the closet. Then, Liang Xiaoli opened the door of the guest room and took out a long sign from his pocket. 2015 door number. These people are habitual offenders and very alert. They can't change the door number in the corridor because they will be photographed by the surveillance cameras in the corridor. The door of the guest room opens inwards, so changing the door number in the guest room will not be photographed. The two cooperated and quickly got the door number. Then, they closed the door and left. Director Su curled up quietly in the closet, motionless. He was very uncomfortable staying there. But he didn't dare to move. Because Chen Ling told him that there was a surveillance camera in his room. He was not sure if there was a surveillance camera in the closet. Once you realize that you can't move, you want to move more. It's uncomfortable as if you are covered with thorns. Director Su gritted his teeth and endured it. Not long after, he heard a voice coming from the corridor, as if it was Chen Ling's agent named Wang Zhen. Wang Zhen complained, "You can't drink much, why don't you drink less, really? You're so drunk. Can you shoot tomorrow?" After a while, the sound of swiping an electronic card was heard outside the door. Click. Director Su heard the door of his room being opened. Then, he heard staggering footsteps and Wang Zhen's voice, "Auntie, please be careful, don't bump." Wang Zhen helped Chen Ling into the room, put Chen Ling on the bed in the bedroom, took off her coat and shoes, pulled the quilt over her, and covered her. Director Su was sweating all over. How did Chen Ling run into his room? In this situation, if someone came in, he couldn't explain it even if he had 100 mouths on his body. Director Su seemed to have seen the hot search on Weibo. The agent of the actress sent the actress to the director's bed. Explosive, those dirty things in the entertainment industry that have to be said. All fake, Director Su secretly rules over a female star. It turns out that Chen Ling got the female lead by climbing into Director Su's Himu's bed. Asterisk. The camera installed in a hidden corner of the room was watching everything in the room. Chen Ling lay motionless on the bed. Hu Suitong looked at the surveillance footage from her phone and was very satisfied. She sent a message to Ma Zikan, "Boss Ma, everything is ready, you can come out." Chen Ling could feel her phone vibrating. She knew that Hu Suitong was probably reporting to someone. But she couldn't look at her phone at the moment. Otherwise, she would alert the enemy. She could hear Director Su's nervous breathing coming from the closet in the room. After a while, she heard a strange sound. It sounded like the sound of turning the door lock. The source of the sound was behind a huge picture frame on the wall. After a while, the picture frame moved to one side, revealing a door behind it. This door was originally connected to the 2014 bathroom storage room. In order to save space, the hotel used a painting to block the door between the two rooms. The door opened. Ma Zikan walked in from behind the door with a lewd and excited smile on his face. Liang Xiaoli followed behind. Liang Xiaoli looked at Chen Ling lying quietly on the bed and licked his lips. She was really beautiful. So sacred, so perfect, so unattainable. But, such a goddess, he could do whatever he wanted to her immediately. Of course, he had to wait until Mr. Ma had enough fun and left. After he had enough fun, he cleaned up the scene, dragged out the uncle who was stuffed in the closet, stripped him clean, and fed him some aphrodisiac. Sister Zibao would sell the photos and videos of the two people to the paparazzi for a high price. However, the other photos and videos were Chen Ling's handle. From now on, Sister Zibao has another obedient and profitable female star. Such a female star who is sought after by thousands of people is about to fall into the mud. Sister Zibao is really too cruel. Liang Xiaoli thought. Fortunately, I followed Sister Zibao to mix with her. Boss Ma, I'll keep watch for you, Liang Xiaoli said. Ma Zikan couldn't hear anything. His mind and eyes were full of Chen Ling on the bed. He was also at the opening ceremony today. Chen Ling's look as a female general was so cool. Conquering such a strong woman would make a man feel more accomplished. And during the time he waited in the hotel, he was so anxious that he was scratching his lungs. Now, he can vent his anger. Ma Zikan panted and pulled back the quilt. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The soul travels through the 18th line, the female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Bulletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 393. Ma Zikan didn't even have time to see Chen Ling's appearance on the bed, he only felt a strong wind blowing on his face. Then, his nose bridge was sour, and then he felt severe pain. A warm liquid gushed out of his nasal cavity. Chen Ling's foot arch hit Ma Zikan's nose bridge steadily, accurately, and fiercely. The nasolacrimal duct in the nasal cavity is connected to the eyes. Ma Zikan felt tears welling up in his eyes instantly and he couldn't see anything. Ah! Ma Zikan screamed and knelt down with his nose covered. Chen Ling hit the target with one hand, supported the bed with one hand, and jumped up from the bed flexibly. Her left hand grasped her right hand, and her right elbow hit Ma Zikan's back of the head hard. Bang! After a dull sound, Ma Zikan kept covering his nose and lay on the carpet. Liang Xiaoli was stunned by a series of changes. What happened? This is... Then, he met Chen Ling's eyes. Those were a pair of very beautiful, but extremely cold, disgusted eyes. She looked at herself as if she were looking at a pile of feces. Liang Xiaoli turned around and fled to the door in panic. However, he had just run 2 steps when Chen Ling, who had rushed over, chopped him on the back of his neck with a knife. Liang Xiaoli fell limply on the carpet. He was motionless. At this time, a shout came from the closet in the inner room, "Let her go, I'm calling the police." It turned out that Director Su judged that Chen Ling was in trouble from the sudden sound of 2 men in the room. He took out his mobile phone and prepared to call the police. However, his signal turned into a zero signal. No matter how he refreshed it, it didn't work. Director Su was worried about Chen Ling's safety, and he didn't care about avoiding suspicion. He pushed open the closet door and rushed out. Then, he saw Chen Ling standing in the middle of the house with her clothes intact. And two men lying on the ground. Director Su, you can't call the police. There is no signal in this room, Chen Ling said with a smile. Her face was normal, and her breathing was long and even. There was no sense of difficulty in using force to deal with the two people. Director Su was stunned for a long time. Did you kill these two people? He asked. Chen Ling nodded, yes. As she said that, she bent down to look through Ma Zikan's clothes and successfully found his mobile phone. Director Su swallowed his saliva. How do you know there is no signal here? Director Su scanned the room with a trace of fear. Didn't you say that they installed a camera in the house? Aren't you afraid of being discovered by their accomplices? Chen Ling raised her mobile phone. Director Su, don't worry. As soon as the two of them entered the door, I blocked all the signals in this room, whether it was mobile phone signals or Wi-Fi signals. Of course, the real-time transmission function of the camera also failed. In other words, their accomplices did not know the situation in the room at the moment. Wang Zhen covered Chen Ling with a quilt just to cover Chen Ling's hands. She held her mobile phone in her hand. There was a signal blocking program written by Chen Ling in her mobile phone. When Ma Zikan and Liang Xiaoli entered the door, she clicked on her mobile phone and blocked all the signals within a radius of 200 square meters. Director Su didn't understand much, but he knew that he had to ask for help from the outside world now. He walked towards the landline and said, then let's call the police as soon as possible. Chen Ling bent down and turned over Ma Zikan, who was lying on the ground, raised her head and stopped Director Su. Director Su, don't call the police. My agent has already called the police. I guess the police have already arrived at our hotel. Director Su was stunned. Chen Ling grabbed Ma Zikan's hair and pointed his own mobile phone at his face. Poor Ma Zikan, his face was covered with bright red nosebleeds, and he was unconscious. The mobile phone screen flashed. Facial recognition is successful, and the phone is unlocked. During this period, Director Su tried hard to recognize Ma Zikan's face. But after recognizing for a while, he didn't recognize who this person was at all. He saw Chen Ling looking through Ma Zikan's phone and asked her, Chen Ling, who is he? Why did he use such despicable means to harm me, and you? Chen Ling took out her own phone, clicked on her phone, and opened the small app for real-time data transmission. She wanted to transfer all the graphics, images, and video data in Ma Zikan's phone to her own phone. At the same time, all of Ma Zikan's account information was converted into decrypted key statements and stored in Chen Ling's phone. As she operated, she said, Director Su, they are actually coming for me. You are just an innocent person who was affected. Director Su came to his senses. He looked at Chen Ling, who was standing in front of him frankly, and his voice was a little inquisitive, are you, really just an actor? It is understandable that Chen Ling was targeted. But Chen Ling's approach was how should I put it, too professional. Chen Ling's eyes were bright, but her tone was gentle, Director Su, I'm just an actor who wants to clean up the entertainment industry and act well. After that, she stuffed Ma Zikan's phone back into his clothes. The soul travels through the 18th line, the female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Bulletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 394. Hu Suitong frantically refreshed the software of the surveillance camera. Huh? Strange, why can't I connect to the internet? How could she enjoy the scene of that bitch Chen Ling being trampled and ravaged without even having access to the internet? It's also a 5-star hotel. The internet is so weak. The screen was stuck on the scene where Liang Xiaoli entered room 2013, and then the monitoring software kept reporting errors. It went around in small circles for a while. The software reported an error again. Sorry, your camera's network connection failed. Please check whether there is a problem with the camera's network connection. Damn it! Why can't I still connect? Hu Suitong refreshed it several times with the same result. She felt a little anxious. Did Mr. Ma and the others break something? Really? Hu Suitong muttered in his heart, how do I know which step is going on? I'm still waiting for screenshots and recordings. The paparazzi studio is waiting. After refreshing more than a dozen times without success, Hu Suitong anxiously dialed Liang Xiaoli's phone number. Sorry, the number you dialed is temporarily unavailable, please call again later. What's going on? Hu Suitong gritted his teeth and dialed Maz Hekan's number. Unexpectedly, Maz Hekan was in the same situation. A cold electronic female voice came from the phone receiver, I'm sorry, the number you dialed is temporarily unavailable. Could something happen? Hu Suitong couldn't sit still. The producers and other crew members all live on the 19th floor. With the universal keycard in her pocket and her mobile phone in her hand, she left her room and walked towards the elevator. It's better to go and see it in person. She was walking with her head down, and suddenly, someone put his hand on her shoulder. Xiao Hu, where are you going in such a hurry? Hu Suitong had a guilty conscience and was frightened to death. It was Gongbao who left the table early. Gongbao's eyes were sharp, as if he wanted to see through her. Hu Suitong was so frightened that he quickly locked the screen of his phone. Gong, producer Gong, I'm going to see Director Su, Hu Suitong said in a hurry, I see that Director Su drinks a lot, and I'm worried about something going wrong with him, so go over and take a look. Gongbao's tone was very cold, do you know that you should avoid suspicion? You know that Director Su has always had a good reputation for so many years. He has always been careful to keep a distance from women and has a good relationship with his wife. You came to the door rashly like this? What should I do if I am misunderstood? Hu Suitong was impatient and scolded Gongbao for meddling in other people's affairs. Producer Gong, you are right, then I won't watch it, Hu Suitong said. No, Gongbao frowned, what if Director Su really has a problem? Let's call another male colleague, and the three of us will go visit Director Su together. It just so happens that I am also worried about Director Su. Hu Suitong's lips turned white. Ah! This is absolutely impossible. Gongbao took out his phone and unlocked it. There's no signal, then go to Director Su's floor and knock on the door to call a male colleague. Hu Suitong said nothing. Gongbao looked back and saw Hu Suitong standing behind and did not follow. The expression is ugly. What's wrong, Xiao Hu? Hu Suitong bit his lip and his eyes flickered, it's okay. She had to come over. The two of them stood in front of the elevator. Look at the elevator 1, 2, 3, and gradually climb up. Seeing the numbers on the elevator display rising continuously, Hu Suitong felt that his heart was about to explode, and a cold sweat broke out down his back. She wanted to drag Gongbao away, but now she really couldn't find any excuse not to visit the drunk Director Su. Why do you look so uneasy? What's wrong? Is there anything in Director Su's room that you can't go to? Gongbao asked. Gongbao's expression seemed to be smiling but not smiling. As if he knew something. Hu Suitong's mind went blank. The elevator made a ding sound. The elevator has arrived. Then the door opened. When Hu Suitong saw several policemen in police uniforms standing in the elevator car, she realized that something was wrong. I just heard Gongbao say, Comrade Police, you guys came so fast, she is the criminal suspect Hu Suitong. I was afraid that she would run away, so I came out and dragged her for a while. The soul travels through the 18th line, the female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Buletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 395. Did you plan all this alone? The police placed a stack of documents in front of Hu Suitong in the interrogation room. Hu Suitong admitted, "That's right. You said you set up a conspiracy because of jealousy, so you drugged Cheng Ling." Hu Suitong nodded. The policeman slapped the table. "Where did the drug come from? You are very skilled in the process. You also know how to drug your crew and director, and also take indecent videos of them and sell them to the paparazzi, so that you can threaten the two people not to call the police." Hu Suitong looked at the policeman opposite with an expressionless face. "Tell me. Who ordered you?" Hu Suitong calmed down now. Her face was very pale, her eyes were slightly red, and her eyes were wide open, with a shameless expression like a pig that is not afraid of boiling water. "I was not instigated by anyone. I just wanted to find a way to send people to their beds if they paid for it. I just wanted to make money." The policeman laughed angrily. "What the hell? You are so capable. Do you think we can't find out if you don't say anything?" At the same time, a middle-aged and elderly policewoman who looked dignified said, "My child, you are still young, it is not too late to look back. Don't pay for other people's guilt. If you confess well and strive to perform well, you can still enjoy your life. One is a good person and the other is a bad person." But this trick didn't work well against Hu Suitong. She has to bear everything. She had understood that the crime she was committing now would definitely not lead to the death penalty. She took on these things and was sentenced to a few years at most. Moreover, some people will not be able to sleep when she is in prison, because she holds a big secret in her hands. Maz Hekan will find a way to get her out. But if she spits out Maz Hekan, then she is truly finished. Maz Hekan knew that she was still carrying a murder case. In a hurry, Maz Hekan revealed the murder case. She is the only one facing death. "Besides Cheng Ling, who else have you attacked?" Hu Suitong grinned. "Didn't you say you would find out sooner or later? Then why bother asking me? Besides, those people might be very grateful to me and enjoy it. You guys are just dogs meddling in other people's business." The female police officers were irritated by her rogue appearance. As a result, the police interrogated her over and over for a long time, saying soft and hard words several times, but she did not let go. She insisted that she was the mastermind. Didn't follow anyone's orders. Zhang Zhenkuo was not surprised when he heard the report from his subordinates. After the report was completed, Zhang Zhenkuo tapped his fingers on the table, pondered for a while, and asked, "What did Maz Hekan say?" Reporting to the chief, Maz Hekan said that he was just horny. He contacted Hu Suitong through an intermediary. He paid and the other party provided the venue and actress services. He didn't know anything else. Zhang Zhenkuoxin said that everything was as Cheng Ling expected. Furthermore, Maz Hekan said that he has become a national of country H and is a foreigner. Because of his special status, he enjoys immunity for foreigners. He also said that he is also a victim and asked us to release him immediately, otherwise he will apply for citizenship in his own country. Diplomatic aid. You see, what should we do? Zhang Zhenkuo shook his head. Don't be anxious, just lock him up for a while. I believe there are people who are more anxious than him. Tell him that he does not meet the scope of immunity because his circumstances are not serious, and he will be fined 5,000 yuan and administratively detained for 10 years. Sky. Cheng Ling said this, "Uncle Zhang, let's play the long game and catch big fish. Maz Hekan is our bait. I think Wang Dalun will never be Maz Hekan's protective umbrella. At most, he is just a spy who tells the truth. We pull out the carrot belt Chu Mu. Wang Dalun can't control this matter. Let's see who Maz Hekan will ask for help." On the other side, Cheng Ling was checking Maz Hekan's mobile phone. With the evidence on the phone, it is very simple to convict Maz Hekan. But what she wants is not Maz Hekan, who is a soldier and a general. She had an intuition that there was a big net behind Ma's Hekan. Perhaps, this network not only includes the Ming Lantern cult of Country H, but also the capitalists represented by his adoptive father Amos. Maybe there are more countries involved. This is a very large organization. It was so huge that Cheng Ling couldn't even imagine it. The Golden Island in Country Y may be just one of their thousands of layers. And this huge organization is about to take root in China. Perhaps it has already taken root. But she knew nothing about this organization. Cheng Ling looked through all of Ma's Hekan's chat records and search records. At this time, Ma's Hekan's inconspicuous search record caught Cheng Ling's attention. The Freemasonry Association. Why is he searching for union? A lightning-like thought flashed through Spirit's mind instantly. Could it be that, behind him is the famous United Freemasonry? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The soul travels through the 18th line, the female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Bulletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 396. Cheng Ling knew about the Masons, but not much. Because the members of the Masons can only be men. Because Amos was also a Mason, Cheng Ling once asked him about the Masons. Amos said lightly, "Hey. It's just an organization created by the bored upper class, just like some humanitarian organizations that protect the Earth's environment. I just joined in the fun." Cheng Ling didn't suspect Amos at the time. Now recalling it, the Masons are very suspicious. Clues from all sides led to the Masons. Cheng Ling tried to search for the Masons. However, the information she could search on the internet was general. But it didn't matter. Cheng Ling could dive under the internet, deeper, unknown dark web to find clues. Soon, she dug out the real information of the Masons and roughly summarized the Masons. The Masons have an emblem with an eye in the middle, and each member has a badge. There is a unique code on the back of this badge, and one person can only have one badge in his lifetime. No report of loss, no reissue. The badge is recognized, not the person. The badge can be inherited. Extremely precious. But generally, people who have the badge will not tell anyone at will. Even his family. There was once a case where a son killed his father to get the badge in order to join the society, and finally succeeded. The Masonic Society was founded in 1730 by 56 members of the United States and the British Empire at that time. These 56 members were all elites of the upper class at that time. After the establishment of the organization, it tried every means to attract successful people from all over the world. Mutual assistance, mutual benefit, control, and subversion. These are the four main principles of the Masonic Society. The members of the Masonic Society are required to help each other, mutual assistance. To jointly expand the financial strength of themselves and their families and the influence in their countries, mutual benefit, they must control their regions through some legal and illegal means. Once they are dissatisfied with the management of their regions, they will reform or even subvert the regime. Successful people are very satisfied with the four major principles of the Masons. So, the Masons grew stronger. Once you can join the Masons, he and his family will have resources and power that ordinary people can hardly imagine. They use the identity, status, and influence of members to control most of the resources in the political, economic and educational circles. They use the baton in their hands to influence all walks of life in the world. In modern society, the Masons have not declined, but have become more prosperous and hidden. To join the Masons, you need to meet the following conditions. 1. Member recommendation. Even if someone knows the existence of the Masons by chance and wants to join the Masons, sorry, do you have a recommender? No. Then you can't. 2. Letter of allegiance. Can you definitely join if you have a recommendation from an old member? The answer is no. You need to provide a letter of allegiance. The content of the pledge is also difficult for ordinary people to understand. Let the big fish in any industry come to power or step down, support a certain industry, or let a certain industry go bankrupt, cause a large-scale riot. 3. Be among the top 100 in your industry internationally. 4. Adult and male. The next one is the most interesting. 5. Must have religious beliefs. 6. If all the above 5 points are met, then congratulations, you can enter the probation period. The probation period requires long and rigorous study. Only after passing the probation period can you officially join the Masons. Quite strict. Then, Chen Ling dug out another piece of information. The light organization in the H country baby case was established by a H country boss who wanted to join the Masons, Jin Ziwen. This is his pledge. Unfortunately, the pledge was not handed in. The organization was intervened and suppressed by the H country government. At that time, several scapegoats of the light organization were pushed out, and Jin Ziwen was safe and sound. However, Jin Ziwen lost his membership qualification. Now, he is still trying to find opportunities. Chen Ling tried to find out who recommended Jin Ziwen to join the club. Fortunately, she found it. Jin Ziwen's recommender for joining the club is Lu Donghao from Dale Group. The soul travels through the 18th line. The female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Buletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 397. A clear line emerged. Lu Donghao of Dale Group is a member of the Heji Society. It may be that there are not many H country members in the Heji Society, and Lu Donghao feels alone and has no say. So, he decided to win over the elites of his country and join the Heji Society. Jin Ziwen, the actual controlling shareholder of Huanbeihui Group and the founder of the Mingdeng organization, was favored by Lu Donghao. Lu Donghao found Jin Ziwen. After a secret talk, Lu Donghao successfully won over Jin Ziwen, recommended Jin Ziwen to the organization, and promised to help Jin Ziwen. Jin Ziwen has enough financial strength, but he needs a token of surrender. He developed a large number of followers of the Mingdeng sect, had a group of loyal believers, and fabricated the rumor of baby capsule, extracting renin, which can rejuvenate and improve immunity, causing countless babies to die. Unfortunately, his business was not halfway through and collapsed. The Mingdeng organization was strongly suppressed by H country. Jin Ziwen suffered a severe blow. He sought help from Lu Donghao of Dale Group, but Lu Donghao made a suicidal statement in China, and Dale Group was strongly resisted by the Chinese government and people, and Lu Donghao also suffered internal injuries. He was too busy to take care of himself, so he naturally couldn't take care of Jin Ziwen. The two of them recovered silently for several years, and when the limelight gradually faded, the two began to be active. The Chinese market is the largest market in Asia. Without the largest market in Asia, Lu Donghao's assets shrank a lot. Everyone in the Hejawai was shrewd and cold-hearted. Lu Donghao, who was hit by the economy, almost fell to the bottom in the association and completely lost his voice. Lu Donghao and Jin Ziwen decided to do something in China, revitalize Dale Group, develop Mingdeng sect, cultivate believers, and use celebrities with incorrect values to poison the minds of young people. Lu Donghao gave Ma Zhikan, the capable general of Dale Group in China, to Jin Ziwen, and asked Ma Zhikan to do his best to assist Jin Ziwen and make things happen in China. China's economy has developed rapidly in recent years and its strength has greatly increased. This is definitely not what the Heji Society likes to see. The vast majority of members of the Heji Society are capitalist elites. If Jin Ziwen can destroy the economic, political, and cultural development of China, then the Heji Society will definitely be very happy. This is the most perfect token of allegiance. Lu Donghao can also take the opportunity to revitalize the business of Dale Group and make a comeback. However, it is difficult to develop the Mingdeng organization in China. Chinese people only believe in two things, money and family. Join us. We can redeem your soul. Redeem the soul? No need, I can just play the electronic wooden fish myself. Do you still have to attend meetings regularly? No need, isn't it nice to stay at home and eat snacks and watch TV? Join us, our leader of the Mingdeng sect will protect you. What is the Mingdeng sect? No need, I can protect myself by forwarding the koi on Weibo. Join us and stay young forever. What's the use of staying young forever? Youth without money is more painful. It's better to give us some money. What? If you don't give us money, you still have to pay for membership fees. I still have a mortgage and a car loan to pay off. I also have to buy a graphics card for my boyfriend. I have to buy a bag for my girlfriend. I have to buy tutoring classes for my children. Too vulgar. Because the Chinese people have a very firm belief, the Mingdeng organization has a very bumpy road to development in China, and it has not been able to expand its scale for many years. However, the cunning enemy turned his attention to the entertainment industry. Chen Ling sneaked into the Huanbeihui Entertainment Company and stole files from the inside. What? If you don't give us money, you still have to pay for membership fees. I still have a mortgage and a car loan to pay off. I have to buy a graphics card for my boyfriend. I have to buy a bag for my girlfriend. I have to buy tutoring classes for my children. As expected of a cult, Kim Jae-won is very good at creating idols that people admire. They have created many stars. And they spend a lot of money to promote stars in China, so that people go from resisting or not caring at the beginning to knowing the stars they have created. Wherever they look, they are the stars they have deliberately cultivated. There are more and more fans. The public follows the crowd. People will subconsciously imitate popular things. And the stars created by Kim Jae-won are to guide the public to form a morbid aesthetic. 2 points. Men, feminine. Women, nightclub-like. The male stars created by Huanbeihui have slender bones, fair skin, beautiful bodies, thin waists and narrow shoulders, big eyes and small faces, and no beards. They are more beautiful than women. The female stars created by Huanbeihui are all enchanting, and they dance more shamelessly on the stage than one another. Some of them are completely imitating the human-making movement. What is dance? Dance is a physical performance art that uses the body to express emotions and complete elegant or rhythmic and difficult movements. Dance has multiple meanings, including celebrations and sacrifices, social etiquette, exercise and fitness, courtship, etc. However, the dance of female stars from country H is simplified and only retains one meaning, courtship. They also create public opinion. If someone raises objections, they will post a short essay to control public opinion. The heart looks dirty in everything, and this is women's freedom. Huanbeihui vigorously develops the entertainment industry, while strongly suppressing stars with healthy and normal aesthetic standards. The soul travels through the 18th line. The female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Bulletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 398. From the perspective of the current popular aesthetics in China, Lu Donghao and Jin Ziwen have already succeeded to some extent. Diet pills, medical liposuction, and bone cutting are popular. In clothing stores, the same size of clothes are getting smaller and smaller. On the internet, there are attacks on obese people, and many netizens are anxious about their appearance. People focus their attention on how to make themselves thinner and paler. Chen Ling was secretly shocked. In time, maybe Jin Ziwen can really get his letter of surrender. The price is that countless Chinese people have destroyed their own healthy bodies. Chen Ling has a deep sense of powerlessness. The other party is a high-tech organization that controls most of the world's resources. And I am just a small person with decent skills and a good brain. How can I shake such a big tree? If Brother Lan is here, it will be great. She can discuss and join forces with him. One small person, two small people, more small people can unite to fight against a big tree. Wait. Chen Ling grabbed the phone fiercely. Text messages, WeChat, phone calls, emails, checked quickly. No. She hadn't received any message from John Killen for 12 hours. Chen Ling grabbed the landline in the room and quickly dialed the familiar phone number. Sorry, the number you dialed is turned off. Chen Ling put down the phone with a serious expression. Brother Lan, I hope you are safe. Asterisk. The Emerald Caribbean Sea was filled with fog. The kind of white, rustling, and patchy fog. The open-top speedboat quickly passed through the white fog, and it felt like shuttling through the clouds. After a while, the hair, eyelashes, and eyebrows were all wet with fog. Not to mention the clothes. The boat was driven by a waiter from Golden Island. He wore a snow-white uniform, white gloves, a gentle black bow tie, a well-ironed golden tuxedo, black dress pants, and shiny shoes. The speedboat was going very fast, and people couldn't help but worry about hitting reefs or other ships. John Killen sat in the back seat, his long legs curled up in grievance, and he took out his mobile phone. The mobile phone signal was blank. John Killen locked the screen of his mobile phone silently. Then, he unzipped his shirt and put the mobile phone in the pocket next to his chest. This mobile phone was a special mobile phone he carried when he was on a mission. Even if it was stolen, there was no way to get any information from his mobile phone. Nolan sat next to John Killen. Mr. L, we will be on the island in about 10 minutes, Nolan said. John Killen looked at the confusing fog. Except for the fog, nothing could be seen. He could hear the sound of the engine of a speedboat nearby. In addition to them, there were at least 3 more. I really don't know how the boat attendant ensured that they could move forward quickly in such a fog without hitting each other. How did you judge? John Killen asked. There was fog all around, and fog. In such a thick fog, people have no way to tell where they are. Nolan pointed to his nose. My nose is quite sensitive. I smell the smell of barbecue and beer. John Killen frowned and sniffed the air hard. He could only smell the strong fragrance of the boat attendant. Really? Before John Killen could question it, the wind brought the faint sound of music. It seems that they are really coming soon. John Killen looked at the vast white fog in front of him. Almost in the blink of an eye, an island suddenly appeared in front of them. The fog on the island was not that heavy. The boat approached the shore, and John Killen saw a group of dancers on the snow-white beach, dancing to the beat of drums. They wore grass skirts woven with leaves, flowers, and long grass leaves on their lower body, and they were naked on their upper body. There was a garland hanging around their necks, which could hardly cover anything. Behind them, there is a row of barbecue grills. Chefs in white chef uniforms are cooking food, juicy tomahawk steaks, pork ribs wrapped in thick honey, fragrant. Next to the grills, there is a long table, on which are placed freshly cooked meat, a variety of processed dishes, exquisite desserts, green salad plates, various shells, grilled lemon prawns, etc. Another table is filled with iced drinks, oak barrels of fine red wine, and big-bellied barrels of German dark beer with white foam. Guests in groups of 3 or 2 are holding beer glasses and chatting in low voices. Looking further in, you can vaguely see a palm forest. There are hammocks, parasols, and lounge chairs, and charming bikini girls are lying on the lounge chairs. This is simply an island with a strong sense of leisure and vacation. Of course, you have to ignore the mercenaries wearing camouflage uniforms, full of muscles, holding heavy machine guns, and constantly wandering. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The soul travels through the 18th line, the female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Bulatin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 399. John Killen's boat stopped. The steward jumped out of the boat, pulled out the rope, and secured the boat to the shore. The two men then jumped from the boat. The waiter bowed to both of them. He smiled broadly, showing 2 rows of shining white teeth. "Distinguished guests, welcome you two to Golden Island. I sincerely hope that you two can spend a wonderful and happy time on the island. I am your butler, Lucas. This is the contact machine for you two. If you need anything, you can press the red button to contact me. I will be at your side within a minute." After speaking, Lucas handed over 2 small black walkie-talkies. John Killen and Nolan took it. With a matte black shell and a black signal receiver, the intercom is not light and has a heavy texture. In order to show its nobility, the intercom buttons are decorated with blue drop-shaped gems. It's a new type of walkie-talkie that I've never seen before. Lucas waited for the 2 of them to put away the walkie-talkie, and asked, "Do you want to enjoy the party on the beach, or do you want to go to the lounge?" The 2 looked at each other. They thought the same thing. So Nolan said, "Let's go to the lounge. In this way, you can learn more about the layout of the island." Lucas showed a standard bright smile, bent down and stretched out his right hand. "You two, please follow me." The 2 of them followed Lucas towards the jungle, one behind the other. The Golden Island is in the shape of a paramecium insole. A long wooden plank road has been built around the north of the island, and a single-family 2-story water villa extends every few steps. Because the fog was heavy, orange lights were lit in front of each villa. There are a total of 33 single-family villas on the island. At the east and west ends of the 2 plank roads, there is a building larger than ordinary villas, which should be used to watch the sunrise and sunset respectively. John Killen and Nolan watched secretly as they walked. Most of the villas had their doors closed at the moment and were silent. Lucas introduced them to them as he walked. "The room for you two is in 106. There is a wine cabinet in the room, some handmade snacks, and welcome fruits for the 2 of you to enjoy. In addition, there are Island Watch industry program lists, service orders, and weather reports in the room. Menu, etc. If necessary, you can also use the pager to call me." The wooden plank creaked underfoot. John Killen controlled the strength of his feet and found that it was of no avail. Long strips of wood will make a squeaking sound no matter where you put your foot. If you want to sneak out and do something in the middle of the night, it will be a little difficult to avoid making any noise. John Killen glanced at the sea water under the plank road. Perhaps, he can choose to dive. At this time, Lucas, who was leading the way, clapped his hands. "By the way, I forgot to tell you two not to go snorkeling in the water. There are many ferocious piranhas here." Because the fog was a bit thick, it was difficult to see clearly what was going on inside the originally crystal clear seawater with the naked eye. I could only vaguely see the black shadows under the plank road. They were disturbed by the footsteps and disappeared like small cannonballs. Nolan asked casually, "Piranhas, they prefer to live in deeper and wider seas, right? Why can they stay concentrated in shallow seas? We feed them regularly, and," Lucas smiled even wider, "we have a fence around the island to make sure they won't escape." "Power grid. Is this to protect against piranhas? Or should we guard against people sneaking onto the island or escaping? By the way, if you two want to watch how piranhas bite humans, we have arrangements on the island. There is a show every 2 hours. Bite humans. Performance." John Killen imagined that scene. Feeling a little queasy. In order to achieve the best viewing effect, our island has been starving piranhas for 3 days. I believe the piranhas will be full of energy and perform hard today, Lucas said very happily. John Killen asked without emotion, "Then who will feed the mermaids?" "There are waiters who make mistakes, dancers who are disgusted by customers, chefs who cook poorly, and the products here, playthings who fail to serve customers well," Lucas said in a brisk tone. as if talking about the good weather. Of course, guests who don't comply with the island's rules may also be thrown off. The soul travels through the 18th line, the female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Bulletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 400. Nolan showed a surprised expression, guests may also be fed to fish? Then what rules do we need to follow? Lucas said, first, you can't harass other guests. Second, you can't beat or kill other guests. Third, there is a red house in the middle of the Golden Island. Guests are not allowed to enter. John Killen asked directly, what is the red house used for? Why are guests not allowed to enter? Lucas actually answered his question, that is our warehouse, an important place for auction items. Oh, John Killen nodded. You have arrived at your room. Lucas took out a bunch of keys with a golden mermaid hanging on the key and unlocked the door. The door faces the sea directly. The room is very clean, with original wood furniture and a light white linen sofa. On the table are decorations that are obviously expensive, and a bottle of champagne in an ice bucket. There are good taste oil paintings on the wall. The first floor has a shower room, a cloakroom, and an open-air stand connected to the sea. There are lounge chairs, tables, and chairs on the stand. The second floor is a bedroom, cloakroom, and observation deck. Lucas took out a pile of menu-like booklets from the coffee table and showed them to the two. The first few pages were relatively normal, with English, Chinese, Russian and other languages printed on the food and beverage menu, massage menu, and wine menu, without price tags. However, the next booklet, Toy Handbook. You too, all the toys here are clean and have undergone physical examinations. You can use them at will. We provide daggers, boning knives, syringes, axes, and other toys for guests to play with. If the room is dirty, call me at any time and I will ask the waiter to help you clean it. John Killen opened the toy handbook and Nolan came over to take a look. There were pages of colored books, and each page was printed with information about the so-called toys. The order was based on the English first letter of the region. For example, page 1. Boris Goodyear, 9 years old, male, American Vietnamese, speciality, whistling. Followed by a photo. The boy was wearing a white suit, looking clean and tidy, with a big grin on his face. But his eyes couldn't hide a hint of fear. We follow the principle of first come first served here. I hope the guests understand that there is only one of each toy. Of course, twins are excluded. Lucas thought he was joking. John Killen couldn't laugh. Also, I don't recommend you to throw them into the sea. The piranhas will be full and they won't have the energy to perform later. Lucas raised his wrist and looked at his watch. Nolan noticed that the Patek Philippe gold watch was worth nearly $1 million. The piranha show will start in a dozen minutes. John Killen was still flipping through the toy manual. His fingers tightened unconsciously, and his slender and clean joints turned slightly white due to the force. He closed the book with a snap. Let's pick first. After we're done, I'll call you if we need anything. Lucas placed his right hand on his left chest and bowed 30 degrees, it's my honor to serve you too. Lucas says goodbye. After he put the key to the door on the table, he stepped back to the door, bowed again, and was about to turn around and pull the door. Wait a minute, John Killen said, do you have surveillance or eavesdropping devices in your house? Guest, don't worry, we don't have these things in our house, Lucas said. Okay, you go. Lucas bowed again, then turned around and pulled the door and walked out. The room was quiet for a while. After a while, when Lucas was about to walk away, Nolan curled his lips and said, how arrogant. He didn't even take away our weapons, and didn't install cameras. John Killen said coldly, either he lacks security awareness, or he has absolute confidence. The owner of Golden Island has the final say on the matter of Golden Island. He sat on the sofa and flipped through the booklet again. Just now, Lucas was there, so he didn't dare to flip back. he was afraid that if he turned to the part about China, he would reveal his emotions. The living people in the booklet were just animals without dignity, commodities to be slaughtered at will. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, John Killen wouldn't have believed that such a place existed in civilized society. Nolan on the side pulled out a piece of cardboard marked with Golden Island program schedule. Behind the program was a map of the island. The room numbers, restaurants, spa rooms, auction halls, and other locations were clearly marked. The program was designed in a cheerful and bright style. Without reading the content, others would think it was a program similar to Disneyland. Unfortunately, this list didn't say anything about parade floats or pirate stage performances. Item 1. 13:00 Piranha Show, First Round.